How is it going, everyone? Wow, well, it's been a long time since I've live streamed 348 sitting on Tesla. As you can see, I've got a little pal here during my live stream because it's called childcare, and that's what I am today as my wife sleeps here a little bit and trying to get a nap in. First of all, I just want to thank you for tuning in on such short notice. Shout out Nico, shout out I don't want to call him by his real name, Xander, as well on Twitter for tagging me to tell me, hey, Yash, get your act together. Let's get some power hour going. I've got a lot to talk about today. It's been a while since we've done a live stream. Let me actually share my screen just like old time's sake and share Weeble. 347.89 sitting on Tesla. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from the chat, city, state, country. Love to hear it. Karsten, how's it going, my friend? Great to see you. Scott says, I do miss power. Scott, I do too. I am, it's still a bit tough, obviously, with the little guy here all the time and needing to take care of him and obviously working and whatnot. Paco, how's it going, my friend? Yes, the wee little guest star, hold on 1 second. Let me just, oh yeah, I'll turn off the music. Give me a second. It's obviously I'm prepping here a little bit. If you're watching on replay as well, let me know and I will do that here in a second. So 347.88 sitting on Tesla. Look, it's titled Tesla Rips this week. And I know you're probably thinking, yeah, Tesla's up 1.5% today. How can you call that a rip? Look, at the end of the day, what we've seen here in Tesla is one of the, outside of the December move, November move that we saw, shout Leandro. Outside of that move that we saw, this is a very healthy run because oftentimes what happens, right, is when stocks climb up as much as they have. And in fact, actually, I'll show you here. I've got it prepped. Believe it or not, I did do a little bit of prep for today. But let's see here. Let me pull up my screen. If you look at the stocks in the last 1 month, right, Tesla is up 44%. Did you know that? 44% in the last month. If you look at the NASDAQ is up 17%. Now, we talk about betas and multiples often, right? So if the NASDAQ's up 17, Tesla should be up only closer to 34%, multiple of 2. In fact, Tesla's up 44, so 10% higher than that. Actually, technically about 33% higher, but you know what I'm saying. The S&P 500 in that time is only up 13%. NVIDIA is up 30%. So, still decent compared to what we got going on. And Apple is a meager 9%. So, and if anyone cares, Rivian is up here at 37%. It's hard to find a stock. Palantir is only up 38%, whereas Tesla's up 44% in the last month. It's hard to find a stock that is comparable to Tesla, really, in terms of mega cap, at least. If I were to put up AMD, let's see what AMD's up. AMD's up only 33% in the last 1 month. So there's this dichotomy here, though, because if you look at the last 6 months, right? Look at the last 6 months. The last 6 months, Tesla's only up 3%. And can anyone guess in the chat? Let me know in the chat. What do you think if I were to hit the last trailing 1 year? Just what's your gut feel on this in the last 1 year? What do you think Tesla is up in the last 1 year? And I'll wait because it's not really something. Oh, what do you want, buddy? We just came from a walk, so he's a little bit tired. In the last 1 year, it's pretty yeah. I'm just gonna wait. 50%, 92%. Thank you, Charlie. Charlie says, hey, hope father Hood is going well. Daughter's almost 11 months old. How are you and the wife getting some sleep? Yes, actually, thanks for asking. The first month, he would sleep 3 hours-ish in a row. So not great. But we bought a snoo. And the snoo is like this bassinet that moves. I highly recommend if anyone's looking to have a kid soon. Not sponsored or anything, I wish. But look, I mean, like that snoo thing, now he passes out 7-8 hours. In a row. It's great overnight. Okay, so for the last 1 year, I see some guesses. Flat, 200%, 22. In the last 1 year, Tesla's up 100%. I don't know about you, but that almost doesn't feel real. Steve, you pretty much nailed it. Like, it doesn't feel real that is Tesla really up 100% of that? Because if you were to gauge sentiment, right? I don't know about you, but I feel like if you were to gauge sentiment would not be as positive as you think it would be. Because in the same time frame, Tesla's up 100%, the Nasdaq's only up 15%. S&P is up only 12%. Meaning if you put 100K into S&P a year ago, you're only at 112. I mean, only 12% is a great return on the S&P. I should probably preface by saying that. But if you put it into Tesla, you would have doubled your money. I don't know if that that sentiment doesn't seem to be there at all, right? And so someone is inevitably in the replay going to say, yeah, well, look at the last multiple years. Don't just look at the last year. You're cherry picking. Okay, fine. Let's go to the last 5 years. Tesla's up 553%. Almost 4 times what the Nasdaq's up 133% in the last 5 years. NVIDIA is just nuts, by the way. Check this out. I mean, it's just crazy. 1,500% in the last 5 years. Well, I think we all know what happened with NVIDIA. Steve says a year ago, some people were worried that Elon was going to leave. Well, Steve, even as few as 2 weeks ago, there was that Wall Street Journal report that Elon's planning, or the board's planning to kick out Elon and whatnot. A bunch of fake news, right? But of course, it still stood as a narrative. And so, by the way, we got some news today, and I'll start going through the gambit of news that we got. There's a new Tesla board member as of today. Jack Hartung has voluntarily declined both cash and stock compensation for his new board member role for now. He and the rest of the board have waived any further stock or stock option comp until the board decides on new terms for equity for compensation in the future. Jack can change his decision later to not take any comp. Anyways, this is Jack. Of course, he's appointed the board. I'll put up this photo here. Jack was appointed to serve as a member of the board of Tesla, as well as a member of the audit committee board, as effective June 1 of this year. Okay. So he worked at a Chipotle. He's quite high. He's a high level executive. I think it's great. It's great to get different people, different perspectives in the room. For all intents and purposes, it seems like people are saying that he's a really good pick. Xander, wow, my friend, you are very nice. A $100 super chat from our friend Xander, who motivated me to go live today, last minute. Buy the baby a gift for me. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Thank you, my friend. You've always been very nice. You hear that, Eli? Elijah's still sleeping. He's still sleeping. Thank you very much. Charlie says people like to talk when stocks are down. Don't celebrate the wins. Fear is real. Just have to go through it. Jan, how's it going? So that's a piece of news today that came out. I don't know if that's materially any good, bad, or ugly. I mean, I think it's probably a decent thing that we're adding, top level executives from other high performing companies into the board. I did see today a funny tweet from Warren Redlich saying that the Delaware judge is now saying that since Elon has had Chipotle in the last month, there's a conflict of interest here. That was hilarious. We also got a lot of pieces of conglomerated news here from Sawyer as well, through the way of Sawyer from Travis Axelrod, the IR head. Check this out. These are really, really juicy tidbits. Okay, first, and this is via Morgan Stanley. First, Tesla wants to offer investors tours of the low-scale manufacturing by the end of this year on Optimus. Tesla is still on track to launch its Robotaxi service in Austin. Initial fleet of 10 to 20 cars will be invite only at first. So this is interesting because everyone kind of thought, okay, it's going to be small scale. How's it going to work? So it turns out it's going to be invite only. I think that probably makes a lot of sense to make this invite only. If you're only doing 20 cars, you can't really open it up to the general public anyways, right? By the way, let me know in the chat. Do you think Tesla will still be on track for June launch on Robotaxi? Yes or no? I want to kind of gauge sentiment on this a little bit in the chat. Tesla can currently make 12 Optimus robots. Should we just call it the Optimi? I don't know. Can currently make 12 Optimus robots at a time on the second floor of Fremont. Production capacity is currently 1,000 a month. Second gen line is targeting 10K a month. Third gen line is, of course, and we know this, 10 times the second gen line. And check this out. Of course, reiterating this is great. Tesla wants to build thousands of Optimus robots by the end of this year, right? This Optimus story is not going away. In fact, it is turning into the front burner story with AGI in the next 4 or 5 years. Conservatively, Optimus can and should scale to the top degree. I think it's really is imperative now for Tesla. Neural nets for Optimus are far larger than the ones for the cars. Tesla Dojo 2. Who remembers Dojo? Why does no one talk about Dojo anymore? It seems like it's just a big fat nothing burger. Scott says June, yes. Dominic says June, yes. June 1st, on track. So everyone thinks Bobby says on track. I don't know why people are expecting event. That's why the October 2024 event was for. Charlie says June has 30 days, so yes. Jan says yes. I agree. And I'm actually surprised that people are taking Tesla's word for this, considering what we know that Tesla can do sometimes last minute. Not in a bad way. I just think that Tesla is a little bit funny like that when it comes to deadlines. We know this. So seeing pretty much everyone here agree. Thank you, George. I've got Juju in my blood too. Everyone agree with that June timeline is very good. Very, very good. Xander says, check Tesla stock price. I don't want to have to switch screens for a second, so I'm just going to pull it up on Yahoo Finance for real quick. 348.34 sitting on Tesla, up 1.61%. We are climbing to end the day here. Let me try to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Actually, this is not a bad one to look at on the web. If anyone's got a better web option, let me know. I usually get my Weeble in. Okay, let's go back to the news. So Tesla Dojo 2, D2, comes out in 2026. Will be more efficient than Dojo 1, of course, and cheaper than comparable NVIDIA solution. Not expected to be one-for-one as competitive as NVIDIA. Dojo 3 is expected to come out in 2028. This is very interesting, right? The fact that they always pad. Have you noticed this? Whenever Tesla is talking about Dojo, they always try to say, well, we're not looking to replace NVIDIA, and it's never going to be as good, and it's not going to be as competitive, and it's a tough business. I think it's very much a, hey, play by NVIDIA's good books. Make sure that we always are on the top of their list to get their chips, be on the front burner. That's what matters, that relationship, if you notice, right? Dojo 3 expected to come out in 2028. Aduke, how's it going, my friend? Look what I got with me. Discreet. Oh, Elon posted. Okay, hold on. Let me check. Let me pull up Elon's tweet. Someone says, Andrew saying that Elon just tweeted out something about the stock price. Oh, Elon's just changed his profile picture too. Wow. Check this out. Tim Waltz is in shambles. Elon just tweeted breaking. Keck. Up 48.35. It's almost like Elon's watching the stream. Elon, are you watching this stream? If you are, give us a sign. Go retweet something or whatever. I don't know. Elon's watching this stream confirmed. Okay, next piece of news. The company thinks it can narrow the performance cap for application-specific integrated circuit. Tesla believes that 10xing their compute and acquiring much cheaper chips could result in a major unlock. Look, I don't want to say it. I've said it a lot. I don't want to sound like a broken record, and I've even said that line a lot. So, ironically and very meta, but that sounds like a broken record too. But the bot story, to me, I've always been a little bit skeptical about where the bot's going to land, and is it just pie in the sky? But look, I've been studying AI a lot in the last year and a half, 2 years. Oh, he's right here. My wife's awake. He's right here. He's fine. And the bot story for Tesla is so important. With AGI undoubtedly coming in the next short-term future, like this market cap opportunity, and forget market cap, but standard of living across humanity is going to be massively upgraded. And I should probably say there is a risk here too, right? It's kind of Skynet problem, right? Where you have AGI, you have bot. Are they going to? So it's so important that this be done by a company, by a state that cares about ethics. And I don't want to get on a soapbox about this, but I think it's very important. Someone says, check out Elon's profile pic. Okay, let's check it out. It is a new pic now. Emperor Kekius Maximus. Okay. Okay, so that's a lot of news covered there. Let me just catch up with the comments. Hadouken threw a emoji in the chat here. Oh, there it is. Hadouken, I did promise I would play Hot Cross Buns, and I'll be honest, I don't remember how to play it anymore, but I'll give you a little rendition. Okay, no one sampled that ever. Okay, the Gamma Squeeze past 350 is a conversation that's happening at the moment. And we will get in that in just a second. Oh, I think I woke him up with that terrible sound. Okay, FSD Supervised is now in France. Okay, FSD Supervised is now in Paris. Tesla has just posted this video. They also posted Tesla doing a huge roundabout. I think it was, actually, I've been there in Paris. I don't even remember what it's called, the Triomphe, the something. But FSD Supervised is now waiting for approval. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But it was a bet that I had, and to be fair, I guess I half accomplished it, but I have to I've had no time to look at the hot cross bun song. Okay. So a lot of pieces of news there. Elon is happy about stock price. Look, Elon, we're breaking out. Okay, I'm going to pull up Webull again. Oh, wow. Okay, 349.18 sitting on Tesla. Give me a second here. I'm just going to pull up Webull. Let's get back to the stock talk. How do you guys feel about that? Okay, let's get back to the stock talk. 349.28 sitting on Tesla. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's go back to the, what are we at? What are we at? Let's go back to the 1 minute. Oh, what happened here? I think this happens when Elon watches the stream. Okay. Jan says, I'm afraid that my generation and the last generation of humanity that will be able to think and reason by themselves. I think that's a multi-generational problem. Arc de Triomphe roundabout. Thank you, Roche. Maybe Rocher. Who knows? He popped up. It popped up just as I was playing the recorder. I won't do it again. I promise I won't play this right now. But if I did, I'm not kidding. I think we would pass 350. The high of days 351.62, 349.09 currently sitting on Tesla. Recorder is good juju. Okay. Okay, let's do it. We'll play a Tesla closing price guessing game in a second here. Well, not in a second, but we'll play in a few minutes because I don't think it's worth playing this early. I'm not going to be able to keep track of everyone's guesses. Plus, I don't think you guys are going to get it right because if we pass 350, all bets are off. 350 is our resistance line here. In fact, I can actually pull up some of the levels that I'm looking at right now on Tesla. Let me just pull this up. I shouldn't have put that recorder in my mouth because now it's I don't know. I feel like I haven't touched this since high school. Like it's probably dirty. Okay. Hit like and subscribe for that. Okay. I'm gonna put up some of the levels that I'm looking at. Actually here. So some levels to watch for. Let's change this on the hourly. So to stay into a buy, closing above 350. Actually, that's a good point. Jagerpack, yeah, or Jagerpack. I don't know. Yes, elementary school. It's just been so long. I don't even know. Okay, if you look at the levels we have to stay above. On the daily, we should and this is to stay into a buy signal, right? To stay into a buy signal, we need to hold the essentially call it 300 level on the downside. On the daily, we're far from that, I know. On the hourly, and this is for kind of medium term volatility, 335 is our level. Okay, currently sitting at 349. And then kind of the lowest I'll go is like a 15 minute, because anything below that, I'm not really trading intraday. But 345 is the 15 minute. So should we stay above 345, and we're about $4 higher than that, $5, call it higher than that right now, the wind is still on our back. But what's more important is if you're looking for the next few weeks, we are very much in a bull run again for Tesla. We were in a sell signal for quite some time, to be honest, outside of this kind of mishmash over here. We were in a sell signal since December, right? Since that huge run up that we had. And then once we kind of broke down 410 back in 11, does anyone even remember when that happened? Do, do you guys even remember this day? It feels like such a blur. Maybe that's just my life, but does anyone remember December 18th, 2024 hitting $487.97? I just feel like this has been completely wiped out of my memory. Of course we hit it for a hot second, but that 409, what is it? 488.54 price. I don't even remember that. It seems like it's just complete, because of course from there we crashed all the way down to $200 essentially a share, on the backs of all the protests and all that stuff happening. But we're back up. So 349.25 sitting on Tesla at the moment. Let's change this to the 1 minute, and I'll keep this technical indicator on, to be honest, on the 1 minute. It is a good thing to look at, but I wouldn't pay it too much mind. I'd probably go 15 minutes and less, but it's good for exaggerated effect for the stream. Brett says, I hope you have your daily live show again. Maybe one day. It's something that of course I want to do. But I mean, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if there's enough demand. It's tough, right? Because this guy's always here. And right now, I think he needs me a little bit more. Although I'm very surprised that he is sleeping as quietly as he has, and he hasn't said anything despite me yelling. Watch me just jinx it. Oh, now he's stirring. Okay. 349.33 sitting on Tesla. How old is he, Bobby says? He's born, he's about 2 months. 2 months. Huh? Okay. Yeah, so a bit over 2 months. What whirlwind? Carson says, yes, please bring it back. Daily stream, Hadouken says. Tiana says, do you think there will be safety drivers in those initial 10 or 20? Yeah, look, I'll be honest. If Tesla puts actual drivers behind the steering wheel for the 10 or 20 cars, I'm not going to say it's a flop, but that's really not that would not, outside of if it was for a day or two or something, it would not be great. Like, for this to be the next step for Tesla, it has to be no driver in the seat. Remote driver, a different conversation, because you could still have one remote driver for X whatever, and that might still be a requirement by the municipality. But I'll be honest, if Tesla has a real driver sitting behind the wheel, even if he's not touching anything, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be a little bit disappointed. I mean, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with that. But Bobby says, what's the point though if it's small scale and invite only? Aren't they already testing this with employees? Well, I think this will be invite to the general public. I'm not sure if any of you guys remember this, but Gmail was invite only when they launched, right? Like, some of the best products in the world launched like this. Invite only Gmail. Oh, wow. It's much better lighting, but hopefully it doesn't get pissed. Gmail was invite only. I remember I had to get invited by a friend at school to even get Gmail. So it's a very typical, and Neil says so was Facebook. I didn't know that about Facebook. Well, actually, no, I did know that. Yeah. So I'm not worried about the invite only thing. It's just public invite, right? So, and then I think eventually, what if Tesla did it where you have to know someone to be able to get invited into that? They could do a cool launch like that. I think, and Tesla would have the network effect for it rather than opening up the floodgates. Samir says, what's the consensus on Tesla stock next week? Have we gone past consolidation? When? Opinions appreciated. Not financial advice as usual, but look, as long as we're in my opinion, as long as we are steady Eddie trucking along above this kind of 300 level on the daily, and on the hourly, what did I say on the hourly? 335 on the hourly, all signs point towards going up. At the very least, we can see some macro news probably shift the current as well. What does concern me a little bit, though, I'll be honest, is how maybe overextended the NASDAQ might be. Again, I showed this to begin the stream, but in the last month, the NASDAQ is up 17%. Of course, there's healthy runs, and then there's just, this is not an insane run. It is a massive run, let's be honest. But year to date, the NASDAQ is sitting up 1.97%. So it's kind of a weird territory, right? Like, should the NASDAQ run 18% in a month and then continue to run another 18 the next month? No. But if the NASDAQ's only flat for the year, is that possible? I mean, I suppose, right? So, these are all the considerations that I'm thinking about. Producer baby on the show. Yep. Hey, do you want to get the chat? Nope. We have a problem with this guy not working hard enough. Gonna call HR. If Tesla has drivers in the cars, it will tank. Tony, how's it going, my friend? How is it going? Jan says invite only makes sense in order to minimize the risk of vandalism. That's a great point, Jan. I actually didn't consider that. But that totally makes sense. If you're launching a Robotaxi network and go watch some of the videos of the Waymos just getting completely trashed. It's pretty sad. Like, society is funny like that, right? Like, you have a few people, a few bad actors that ruin it. And what I find interesting, and for my American friends, please try to, don't take this the wrong way. But what I find interesting is sometimes I see these videos in the States, and I find that a lot of people don't really mess with or get involved with stopping a lot of the stuff. Like, I saw this video of this car like ran over a couple, like a mom in a stroller or something, and people were just walking around her, and then go. And maybe that's a big city thing, but you would hope that. And this is the problem, right? People are so deranged when it comes to Tesla that we saw the bombings and stuff. Like, people are nuts, right? Like, they'll do anything to make a political statement. So the invite only kind of makes sense. Thank you, Samir, for the kind words. Appreciate it. I've been Tesla investor since 2019. Have some old videos to catch up to. I've recently found your channel. Oh, it's cool. Okay, awesome. Yeah, dig through a lot of the stuff. I have a playlist called Timeless. That's a little bit better to watch because a lot of my videos are more daily videos. So if you want to go back in the news or something in the news cycle, go for it. You know what you should watch, Samir, is our all-time high live streams. Those are always a lot of fun. Tinelli says, do you predict a big sell the news reaction? I don't know. Look, what's tied to the Robotaxi news a little bit more is also the new affordable line vehicles, right? And I tweeted that this morning, and I said, hold on, let me just see here. I took a screenshot here from Tesla's earnings report. Remember, plans for new vehicles, including more affordable vehicles, remain on track for the start of production in the first half of 2025. The first half of 2025. Okay. So we are pretty much here at this point. Like, we are 14 days, 15 days here from the deadline that Tesla has set for this. So in terms of sell the news, if we get 2 new affordable line vehicles, all of a sudden Wall Street has to up their quantity, for the year. So yes, Center says V-shaped recovery means room to run. Room to run wise, if we were to look at the upside levels, 348.48 sitting on Tesla. If we were to look at the upside levels on Tesla, and in terms of options too, I know a lot of people are looking at leaps. Is that something that you guys are looking into right now? Options? You guys want me to talk about that a little bit? But let me know in the comments. But in terms of upside room to run to, all you have to do is go to the weekly. Like, check this out, folks. This is what is the next leg of Tesla's massive up run is past this 367 level. So very plausibly, we could bump up against our sell trigger on the 367 and bounce back down, and Robotaxis don't launch, or new lines don't come, and we have some resistance there. But should we break this kind of 370, call it, level, all-time highs are kind of back in play, like predictably so, I think. We still, and the reason why I'm not really talking about this too much is, we still got $20 to talk about, the $20 from here still to talk about that resistance level. So it's not like we're imminently there at the moment, but that level, that 370 level, should we break that level, all-time highs are like what, $120 more than that, and those are very much in play post that. So well, I think Walmart's good stock. Nvidia, yes. Palantir, I think I don't have very much Palantir anymore. I sold a lot of it thinking I was such a smarty in the 40s. What an idiot. Yeah, Tyler, exactly. Elon tweeted out the stock price. We were just talking about that 10 minutes ago. Tesla Boom and Mike, I see 777 people watching. We need some more likes on the stream. Look, if I'm gonna stream intermittently, I'm gonna need you guys to help me out a little bit with the algo. Here's how YouTube works. If you stream on the regular and you have consistent schedules, you would do a lot better. When you do intermittent stuff, it's tough. So I'm gonna need you guys to hit the like here while you guys are here. I see 83 likes so far on the stream on YouTube. Tesla, Twitter, I can't really count. So I'm going to need you guys' help on that. 93. Okay, let's up that a little bit. I see between X and YouTube, I see almost 800 people watching. Oh, here he is. He's stirring up. Maybe he's getting hungry. Okay, option. Let's talk Hey, Nico, how's it going, my friend? Oh, okay. Now he's upset. Look what we did. Okay. Oh, I get it. Tesla's making its downturn, and he's not happy about it. He's not happy about it. Okay, 347.94 sitting on Tesla. Let's do it. Okay, where is Xander's comment I was gonna talk about? Okay, I've been crushing it on day trading, cautious, deep in the money leaps. So essentially, you're just trading stocks, right? Deep 2027. Wow. Okay. Hold on. He's stirring. Give me a second. He's gonna start crying any second now. Want some milk? You're too hot. What is it, buddy? Okay. Hold on. Okay. See, this is the type of live stream that you get on CNBC sometimes. You just have babies in the middle. You too hot? Or are you just upset Tesla's going down? Which one is it? Oh, I know. Don't you hate it when Tesla just goes down like that? Oh, that's the worst. Okay. Oh, man. He is hot. Okay, 348.35 sitting on Tesla. Does Elon tweeting the stock price mean anything? I don't know. I don't know if Elon tweeting the stock price means very much. But I'll be honest, when he does do that, it makes me excited. It gets me excited. Well, okay, that came out a little bit weird, but I think you guys know what I'm saying. Bobby says, I'd be mad too if my college fund was going down. 348.50. Look, Tesla's going down. You upset? Are you upset, buddy? Oh, good morning. Blame Nico. Hey, Nico, by the way, if you want to come on the stream, that's what I was supposed to do before you started crying. You know what? I'm going to open it up. If anyone wants to come on stream and talk and to give their thought or ask a question, feel free to do so in the chat. I just threw in the StreamYard link. We'll keep the questions and comments short, and we'll see if anyone goes. Steve said. David says December 2025 price target 800 in play. If they come out with 3 to 5K, I don't think you mean price wise 3 to 5K, but I think you probably mean production. End of this year 800, doubling of Tesla from here. It's a little bit unbelievable. I'll be honest. Like by the end of the year too. I think once Optimus is in way more production, I think we'll probably get something like that. But end of this year, I mean, it's hard, right? Because everything is not, this is not linear, right? Because if you were to ask our price target when Tesla was at all-time highs in December, we would say, oh, okay, Tesla's at 500, add $100, $150, we'll be there, by the year, 600, whatever it is. But now at 348, Tesla's rallied here a little bit. It's a little bit tougher to say. Everyone say hi to Nico, investing against the grain. Hold on, let me just pull you up. How's it going, my friend?
It's good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Just want to make sure I had the right audio on.
So for those who didn't catch it on X, and yesterday I said this in my video. I said, tomorrow I'm going to try to live stream because I got the day off here. And then I kind of woke up and I was a little bit late. I was like, should I live stream? I don't know. And then I checked X, I checked Twitter, and Xander and Nico were talking back and forth saying, yeah, I should live stream. And that was all the motivation I needed. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, when Xander was talking about that, I was like, it's Friday. We need a little live stream action.
Oh, yeah. Happy Friday. So what are your thoughts with everything going on? 348 sitting on Tesla. Where's your head at with everything? It's pretty, like, in the next month, a lot will happen, won't it?
Yeah, it's I guess thinking short term, since talking about options and day trading, like Xander was talking about, and again thinking short term, putting long term aside, I've been also day trading long term leaps. So I put on some yesterday, closed them out today, quick 15K, just like off the bat, like just on these like little pops. But I mean, if you look at Ivy, it's so low right now that these leaps are just cheap. Like, I mean, I don't know if you ever like look at IVR or anything, but
of course.
It's so cheap right now.
What's IVR currently sitting at right now? That's
Tesla,
implied
like
volatility rank, by the way, for anyone.
Yeah,
watching.
27, 28.
Okay, so 27 percentile essentially at the moment.
Yeah, and that's like Tesla, like normal for Tesla, like 50. So because of that, that means that there's no premium in the options, right? So when there's no premium in the options, that's a nice time to buy them because they're cheap.
Yeah.
So
and I'll kind of walk everyone through in case you guys don't know much about options. Let's check out July's option chain, because that'll tell us a little bit about pricing after Robotaxi launch, after new affordable line vehicles, also after March, April. Yeah, also after production and deliveries. So currently, Tesla's sitting at 350 essentially. An at the money call option to buy Tesla at 350 for July 25th or July 18th of this year is about $36. The put's about 34. Okay, so essentially, when we add them both together, we get a projected kind of move for Tesla at the moment. So essentially, a $70 move plus or minus for Tesla is baked in from here to July. So a $70 move. So I'm just going to check this because my brain doesn't work at the moment.
And
but
that's
it's 20%.
Yeah, I was going to say that's split up, right? That's 50% up, 50% down. So
yeah, and it's pretty evenly split. So from here now, do you think there is, like, do you take the over or under on that? Do you think Tesla has potential to move more or less than 20%? Because I would think probably a lot more than 20% between now and end of July.
It's I think it's going to drastically go up. I think, right? I mean, again, just volatility is so low right now that anyone who's like selling is like selling puts or calls. I think they're going to get their face ripped off because volatility is going to expand and everything's going to get expensive. So I don't, here's the thing. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like it's 50-50. Like my experience says that this is going to be a sell news event, as they always are, that it'll be any one little thing like, oh, there aren't as many vehicles as we thought, or oh, it's only for internal employees to use it first without drivers, or oh, there's still a safety driver. Like there's gonna be something. I almost feel like that the media is gonna take to run to underplay it, and it's gonna be like, oh, Waymo doesn't do this. But then at the same time, my heart, my hopium, which has failed me in any one of these events ever, is telling me this time's different. This time's different for multiple reasons. One, because I think you mentioned it earlier, it's not just robotaxis, but we also have new vehicles. So that's literally two different things that increase TAM.
Yeah.
And the robotaxi, no matter how you slice it, it's net new revenue coming in.
Yeah.
And it should be essentially cost neutral for them. Like I'm sure there's like infrastructure costs, little things that they're already doing anyways for R&D, but now they can actually be bringing revenue in, which will probably be like insignificant, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's there to grow. And
Yeah.
once it's there and people can see it and see, like the Gary Black's world can start modeling this out. Whereas all the other things we've had, like, oh, once Giga Berlin and Austin are open, then everything's a go. Or once we get the mega packs at China, we're good to go. Or once the Elon compensation stuff's over, we're good. It's like it's always been like these. We robot.
Mhm.
Like once we see the Cybercab, we just need to see it and then we can go.
Right.
And all these things have been like false starts every time. But
Yeah.
I feel like with the Robotaxi and these new vehicles, that's not the case.
Hmm.
And I think if you're looking to July, it's anything I think over the next 45 days really difficult to map out. But if I look at two different things, if I look at like a MACD from a
Yeah,
weekly
okay.
perspective, that thing's about to turn green for the first time in a long
Hmm.
time.
Okay.
And then if I look at all the things that are happening, if you look at what these like fib extensions show, I mean, it depends on where you put your fib extensions, but they're all looking like we could easily get into the 500s by the end of the year,
Hmm.
which seems reasonable to me if road taxis are scaling, right? Like there's a thesis there,
Mhm.
but I don't know. It's just you can make the argument either way. My biggest fear with all of this is that okay, we get the news, we see it, it's that time of year where people go away anyways, but it also takes time for it to make an impact to the balance sheet.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Because Wall Street right now projects zero income, right? For anything outside of cars, essentially energy, some service revenue, etc. It's pretty much negligible. And to be fair, like you said, the Robotaxi network in the next little bit, we're not projecting millions of dollars of income yet from, even millions of dollars of income yet from that. But it's what you said about modeling that I continue to harp on, that right now they don't have to sit down and model out a Robotaxi portion of Tesla's business. They will have to once Tesla is doing driverless, even in a small degree. And so if the same analysts that value Waymo at billions and billions and say it's a huge conglomerate of Google moving forward in the next 10 or 20 years, if they value Waymo, if you're being intellectually honest and Tesla comes out with 10 or 20 cars, albeit very small scale, you have to be intellectually honest and say, okay, well, Tesla proved it out in terms of, you know, eating their own dog food a little bit, running the system. How fast can they scale, honestly? And you have to come to the conclusion that Tesla can scale pretty fast over the air software update, essentially. So where that leaves us is at Tesla at 350. Tesla's up, like I said, 45%, right, in the last 1 month. The question, though, that a bear would ask, and I'll ask it to you, is how much of that is being priced in the last month?
So I think a lot of it is being priced in by the people who believe it's going to happen. But I think there's a big pool of investors, funds, institutional types that aren't even in the stock because they don't believe it's going to happen. They don't believe it can scale. They think that Tesla's missing key components and Elon's the boy who cried Robotaxi. So there is a point, I think, and honestly, I think that's the majority of people out there, investors out there in general, that think that. I mean, even today, it blows my mind that I see people driving around their Teslas that aren't using FSD ever. I'm like, this is crazy to me. Like, I see people with their kids in the car. I'm like that's kind of dangerous at this point. Like, you have such safe technology and you're not using it. It's almost irresponsible. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know how often you use FSD,
Yeah,
but
I use it all the time.
it's
And I very rarely see cars with FSD on. I agree. I
yeah.
very rarely see it. Yeah.
And so if even the people who have the vehicles aren't using it because maybe they're not aware, which I think is the bigger thing, is that they're not aware, or if it's just because like I don't buy this narrative that people just like to drive. Like it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You don't like to drive to work. You do not like to drive to the mall, to a restaurant.
You
You
think
may
it's cool?
like, I think people don't like giving up control.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think that giving up control, but then there's also like the boredom aspect.
Mm.
Like, okay, well, if I can't drive, or if I don't drive, what am I going to do? You won't let me touch my phone. So I think the second that people can be on their phone, that they'll give up that control. No big deal.
That's probably true.
And so, like, I think the phone will be the biggest gateway to FSD adoption because people
Yeah,
are so addicted
interesting.
to their phone.
Interesting. By the
But
way, I'll let you finish that thought. Let's do a Tesla closing price guessing game while we're here. We got 12 minutes left here till close. Drop your Tesla closing price guess in the chat. Remember, Price is Right rules. You have to be at or under to win the virtual Juju prize, which I sent through telepathy. Nico, let's go with you. Guess always goes first. What do you think Tesla closes at today?
um, let's see. Let's see.
It's
Give
currently
me a
at
sec.
348.53.
Yeah, I've been waiting for a sell off all day. Uh, I just
Not
been
gonna
wait.
happen.
I want to sell puts, but I don't want to get caught. So, like, I'm trying to buy shares, so I want to sell puts, but I don't want to buy, or I don't want to sell it like 340, and then we go down on 320. I'm like, damn. So I've been waiting for a sell off. So I'm gonna go with a sell off narrative here. I
Okay.
think we close at 340. I think we. Ooh, you know what? What would that be? 343.25. 343.25. So essentially, unch.
Okay, I'm gonna put that in the chat just so I don't forget. I'm actually going to go the opposite. The fact that Tesla continues to be close to high of day and kissing that 350 level multiple times, and towards the end of the day, we're gonna get most of our volume here in the next 10 minutes. I think Tesla cracks but comes a little bit under high of day. So I'm gonna say,
Oh,
oh, whoa. Okay, well, my guess is looking good. I haven't even said it already. 350.50, I think, is what we close at today. 350.50. Remember, you only get one guess, chat. Yeah, don't be putting in 5 different entries or whatever, because this virtual Juju is not cheap. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, but finish your thought. Okay, so Tesla's up 45%. You still don't think it's priced in. The Nasdaq, I mean, Tesla is rallying mostly on the back of the Nasdaq too, right? Because the Nasdaq's
I
up
agree.
17%. Tesla should be up 34% with a multiple of 2. Tesla's up 45. So Tesla's up 10% more than what it should be. That's not that much that Tesla's pricing in specific to itself. So I agree that I think what's going to end up happening here is probably, I think, and as it stands right now, rose-colored glasses. And I saw a chat here that even said we're one tweet away from Trump dumping the whole market, which is true, but the opposite is also true, which is the crazy time that we live in. But I think we probably hit 400 here in probably short order. Like, I don't think there's a lot of volume on the upside. So I think we have large gap up days to get to there. But maybe that's just hopium talking at the moment for me.
Do you believe in gap fills and all that? Is that something that you subscribe
I
to?
Yeah, I mean, so the theory being that if you gap up, you're gonna at some point fill the gap and come back and have that liquidity zone be filled. I mean, for the most part, I think that likely happens. There's a lot of gaps. If you look at like a lot of tech stocks from the early 2000s and where they're sitting at today, some of the gaps are just never going to be filled unless they go
Yeah.
bankrupt. So it's not always true, but Tesla has this way of proving us that they're always gonna, like, Tesla's. I've subscribed to that theory more for Tesla actually.
Yeah. So this is where it's hard to be bullish right now, like looking at a short term, because to your point, we're up what, essentially 50%
Yeah,
in no time. I think the S&P's up what, like 16, 17 days in a row, or out of the last 19,
yeah,
something like that.
exactly.
Like, we tariff news is over. The, Everyone knows about Robotaxi at this point. Or, like, there's no secret out there about it.
Mhm.
So arguably that news is priced in. We're expecting new vehicles. Arguably that news is priced in. It's not like new news that we didn't know about. We just don't know what it looks
Right.
like or when it launches. So you could say there's some upside for that, but it just, to me, I would think that in the past, when I was, I'll say younger, and that means like a couple years ago.
Okay. Young
You know,
guys.
I feel like we've gotten a lot of years under our belt over the last 5 years. Let's just
I
say
mean, yeah,
that
I think we've
we've
definitely
experienced a
aged more
lot.
than 5 years. Yeah, we've definitely aged more than
Yeah,
that for sure. Yeah, that's
yeah.
fair.
Like in the last 5 years, you've gone through what some people don't see in 20 years in the market. You know?
Oh, seriously. I mean, even in the last 6 months. But yeah, totally.
Yeah. Um. But if I learn from that, it would tell me that these are the moments where everything feels good, everyone's a buyer, everyone's feeling positive about it. It's gonna pull back, and so
I love it. So you're the
yeah.
yin to my yang, and usually I'm actually the one talking, talking it down a little bit. So I love it. So you think short term weakness coming, and that's actually I give that about a 40% probability, anyways, because you're right. The Nasdaq's up so much, S&P's up so much. Even if the macro market comes down, Tesla's bound to come down. But I just feel like sometimes with Tesla, like you see price action like today, and maybe it's just a one off. But look, 349.17 on Tesla. We're a buck or two away from high of day. It's the Friday closes near high of day that push up towards the end of the day that I've seen it a lot with Tesla where it's like the buying is overspilling. Like the buyers are sitting on the sidelines and you have towards the end of the day when a stock closes near or close or breaks high of day to close a day, that's quite bullish. When it does it to close the week, that's very bullish. Now we're not there yet. Still got a few minutes left here till close, but again, maybe it's just my excitement. Seeking is saying, do your own financial due diligence. Of course. I mean, we're just two idiots talking about Tesla. So yeah, definitely don't listen to what we have to say. Some crazy guesses in the chat here. I saw one that says 248 is the closing price for today. So I think we got a wide spectrum of people.
Why do you think Elon posted the Tesla stock? Like I don't want to say he's known for giving signal. I would say we are known for reading into his post,
Yeah.
thinking there's signal.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, like, what are your thoughts on it?
And I'll pull it up in the meantime. How about you give me your thoughts first as I pull it up?
Part of me kind of thinks he's doing that just because of Tim Waltz.
So in the beginning, so he tweeted that out right as pretty much we started Power Hour. I think 10 or 15 minutes in. And we said, Elon, give us a hint. Go retweet something if you're watching this stream. So Elon could very much be watching this stream right now. Just a heads up. Probably not. But he tweeted out Keck, and of course, Tesla up 50% in the last month. I agree. We read into this a lot more than probably we should. Do you remember the whole 12-4 thing?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
12-9.
Like
12-9.
12-5. Yeah, it's so long ago. I don't even remember, but counting the booster rockets on the thing and then doing the math. It's just so funny.
It seemed legit. It seemed legit.
It did. And shout out, what was his name? Adam, right? Adam something on X. I missed that guy. That guy was hilarious. I'm not sure if you remember him, but
yeah, he disappeared.
That theory mostly. So Elon tweeted this out just a few minutes ago, folks. Like, does he know something about a trade deal, a chip deal with the States and the Middle East, something happening there that over the weekend, this is only going to spill over? Like, will Elon really put himself out to be completely memeified if Tesla crashes 20% next week due to something? Like, would he tweet this out on a Friday knowing that there's probably a likelihood of something ugly happening this weekend? And again, he's not a fortune teller. It's not like he knows at the end of the day what's going to happen either. But yeah, I mean, he's generally bullish about Tesla, and I think that's a good thing.
All right.
Yeah.
You convinced me. Let's put a little position on here.
Well, let's get actually Farzad, I'm gonna message you right now with the link. Actually, I'm gonna throw the link in the chat. Farzad, hop on. I'm gonna throw it in the chat. All right. I'm very excited for Canada to be I can't even read this, dude. Why did you even type this out? Okay. Jeez. Okay. Okay, let's go back to Tesla here, and hopefully you don't hear Eli crying in the back.
All right, I just sold 10 contracts at 3:30 for next week.
Oh,
let's see what happens.
Well, you sold 10 puts or you sold 10 calls?
10 puts.
Okay, so bullish move that is. Okay. I hope you didn't base anything off of our conversation because I'm probably gonna end up being wrong.
No, I mean, like I said, I want it to come down so I can, sell. I want volatility up so I can sell puts and get some premium and get into some more shares. But maybe I'll put some of what I want on now. Put these 10 and
no pun
we'll see
intended.
what happens.
349.84 on Tesla. And look who's joined us on the panel. Mr. Farzad, big shot international guy, cool looking studio as usual. Look at those biceps.
Studio is a mess.
How's it going?
These biceps are tiny, bro. These are post parenthood.
Dude, there's no guns allowed on YouTube.
There's nothing.
Dude. Relax, man.
I think you got the wrong mic on.
I do?
I think so.
Hold on.
It sounds like it.
Check one.
It's loud.
Is it? I mean, I can lower the volume.
Or
do you just not like hearing my voice?
It sounds...
It's fine for me.
Is it? Oh, maybe it's just me then.
Maybe it's your headphones.
Let us know in the chat. 349.43 sitting on Tesla. How's it going, dude?
Good, man. I'm doing great. How are you? How is it being a father?
It's great. It's actually a lot more work than I thought. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually great. Like, I don't even know how life was before at this point. Like, it's been 2.5 months, and I'm like, like the fact that I had so much time before and I didn't even realize it. Now I'm trying, like this stream, for example. I love streaming, but the fact that I'm doing this is kind of it's a God's miracle, to be honest, because it's like I'm holding him in one arm, he's crying over there. I don't even know how I complained about time management before. And you know what, Nico, congrats to you. You're expecting, you guys are expecting soon too. I'm super excited for you guys too.
Thank you.
Dad Squad. Look at us go. Dude, literally a year ago, a year and a half ago, where all three of us were just like losers on the internet. And now we're 3 fathers.
And now we're 3 losers with kids.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, you're right. Nothing's changed.
Something's never changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I asked this to Nico 10 minutes ago. Tesla's sitting at, okay, so boom, Tesla just closed 349.98.
349.98. 349.98.
Okay, no, well, I was going to ask you for your guess if that's where you're going.
That's my guess, 349.98.
I was going to ask you, what are you the most excited about in the next 2 months for Tesla? Because it's a very pivotal time for Tesla. Robotaxis, new affordable vehicles, AI, Optimus. What are you most excited about?
It has to be Robotaxi. I mean, I think the thing that I'm most looking forward to, I mean, given that I live in the area, thankfully, and I get to really experience this firsthand, I'm curious to see. So we know the fleet size already is going to be 10 to 20 cars. But what I'm really curious to see is how big of an area they cover. Because as I dug through the regulations, the area that Waymo covers right now in Texas, at least, is not dictated by regulations. It's dictated by the company. So Waymo decided that's the kind of area they want to cover. But Texas has a regulatory environment for autonomous vehicles that says that no individual jurisdiction can put a limitation on how far an autonomous vehicle can go, because what they want to do is they want to maximize the chance of an autonomous vehicle to go city to city, or jurisdiction to jurisdiction. So the size of the launch is going to be very interesting to see. Now, with 10 to 20 cars, it's likely that they're going to be very small. They're probably going to launch maybe between I don't know, maybe like Lady Bird Lake to UT or something. So that for people that are not familiar with the area, that might be like a 20 to 30 block radius or something. So the amount of customers is going to be limited, or it's going to be within a 5-mile radius of Giga Texas, so that employees can use the service or something. But the expansion of that area and how quickly they expand is going to be very fun to see, because from say competitors' perspective, that area, the limitation is through mapping. Waymo has to go and then map the surrounding suburbs, Georgetown and Leander and Kyle Buda and Bastrop, if you want to go that far. But that puts so much more toll on a company like Waymo to get those maps covered. Whereas Tesla can just be like, okay, we're comfortable in Austin, flip the switch for the surrounding areas. And then all of a sudden, because their system is specifically designed to not use maps, is to actually understand like a human driver, right? So the size of how quickly that goes is going to be the big signal we're looking for. So with the self-driving technology, the thing we'll be looking for is the rate of improvement, with how quickly it can go from one intervention every 10 miles to one intervention every 10,000 miles, hopefully. And now it's going to be, okay, how quickly can we expand that area of service within the, and how many states can they bring on quickly? You know, it should catch fire very fast. If it's not catching fire very fast, something's going on that doesn't align with the methodology Tesla has used to solve. But my gut tells me that the speed of rollout is going to be, it's going to come fast and furious. And that's what's going to take people by surprise. So we'll see. That's what I'm looking for in the next couple months.
Do you think you're going to invite on this thing? Do you have any idea how
I hope so. I mean, it would be smart for them to get people that have media exposure in Austin to go out there and try this damn thing, right? So I got my fingers crossed. Yeah, I hope so. Elon, if you're watching, you know Elon watches this live stream every time it's on, right?
Yeah, he does.
Bro, get me in there.
I'm pretty sure he tweeted out a little orange juju emoji while he was watching this. So yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah. What about you? What are you looking for?
Well, Nico and I were just talking. We were saying the new affordable line vehicle. So I guess the question is, what am I most excited about, or what is it that will excite Wall Street? And if I were to answer the question about what I think will affect the stock in Wall Street mostly, I think it's the new affordable line vehicles as well, because I think those drive up a metric that is already currently being tracked for Wall Street.
I disagree.
Like, what's that?
I disagree.
Okay, well, just hear me out then, because I think right now on the spreadsheet, they can tweak. Okay, let's say if Tesla comes out with a 25K car, right? They can come out and they go, okay, with 25K car, great. Tesla can sell 1 million more of these in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. Let's change that number overnight. Okay, affect, kind of this is their short term. The wild card, like we're saying, is that this line item for Robotaxi doesn't currently exist. So it has to then come to existence on their spreadsheets. So they have to model it out. They have to give it some sort of valuation once it's actually live. The wild card here is that, if Tesla delays this another couple of months, or if Tesla puts drivers in the back seat, kind of, or not in the back seat, but it puts drivers behind the wheel, does that negate any of that effect? So what I'm most excited about is Robotaxi, bar none, of course, because that's what I'm excited about as a Tesla investor. But I think in the short term, if Tesla were to just launch their new affordable line vehicles, I think that would do more in the short term for the stock price, because boomers still exist and Wall Street cares about that because Tesla's still a car company.
So my rebuttal to that would be, if you look at Q1 earnings, and if you look at the GOP, the Republican Party, trying to kill the $7,500 tax credit, both of those two things were super negative for volume. Q1 deliveries terrible, right? I mean, they were not good. And then the $7,500 credit should bring demand forward, but then from that point forward, the argument becomes going to be tough for you to sell these cars because you're going to get a $7,500 price increases. Neither of those two things did anything negative for the stock at all. And so from that perspective, I
was just going to say, I think that was already baked in. So that wouldn't have been new news. So the stock market is pretty good at pricing in known news.
Okay.
So that's my take.
Okay.
I'm not a market pricing perfection theorist or anything like that, but I do think that the market's pretty good pricing in news.
Yeah, and I hope no one gets the impression that I am that either. I am literally I'm the biggest dummy on the planet when it comes to this.
You got the white shirt, so
I do have the white shirt. I don't know how that
you
connects.
Look pure, like you look pure, like I can trust you.
I'm Gandalf the White, not Gandalf the Gray. Is a wizard's never late. But that's a very interesting point. Tesla has gone through a lot of negativity. Like it has gone through a lot of lows in the last few months, sure.
That's fair. Yeah.
So that's a very fair point. So yeah, I mean, dude, I mean, last time we talked, I was saying something different. Like that, I flip flop on this all the time. It feels like a very just it's an inflection point. Like we're getting closer to that paradigm shift.
Yeah.
And the closer we're getting to that paradigm shift, which is unsupervised self-driving at scale, things become harder to predict because it's such a huge door that's going to get open that it's impossible to understand how people are going to perceive this change, right? And so that's what makes this period fun, is like we're all sitting down like, what's going to happen?
Exactly.
But like the inescapable is that if Tesla can solve unsupervised and it can scale quickly, the entire model of transportation breaks, because it's a binary thing. Hans always talks about this on our podcast. It's binary. If it works, the winner takes all. If it doesn't work, Tesla is a Gordon Johnson valuation. That's it. And that's where we are.
Actually, I'll take your point about about the vehicle production delivery numbers being bad, all the credits, even the China insurance numbers from a few weeks ago. Yeah, you're right. Like it is surprising that those numbers don't affect the stock more, and it continues to chug up slowly and surely. So yeah, I could change my opinion on that really. But yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
And I was going to give you another variable too. I would not be surprised if projects like the bot start getting priced in, because if you look at Figure, for example, what's their private valuation? What did they raise at?
I don't even know.
Let me grok this real quick. Grok is broke now.
Because right now Tesla's currently sitting at a 1.13 trillion valuation.
Yeah,
which is, I mean, that is kind of crazy, right?
You could add up every other vehicle company, I think, in the world, add in Figure, add in Waymo, and I still don't think it would be $1 trillion.
So Figure is a $40 billion valuation.
Okay.
And they have $0 in revenue, and they are in human or robots. Okay. Yeah. So how much? So shouldn't Tesla get a premium on that? If and I get it, private public is different. I totally get that. But there has to be something going into Tesla that also, it just comes down to Wall Street understanding the thesis behind Tesla, which is like, yo, they're Figure, but it actually works. And it's at scale. Because that robot we saw dancing is going to be able to dance in the millions of units per year by 2032, 2033. Right? Yeah. That also needs some sort of valuation. And if Wall Street's not giving that evaluation in the same way they're giving a valuation to Robotaxi, then it's like, okay, so what are you doing? Yeah. What are you looking at?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's the thing. And Figure, great for them, good for them. Sanctuary AI is another robot startup that's doing quite well. Yeah. But like Tesla, what's Tesla's moat? Manufacturing, of course. Like what Tesla does is build the bot that builds the bot, right? And so what Tesla is doing with Optimus, like it's great that these small scale kind of niche players are doing well, but what Tesla is doing is like they are looking at the large scale for the bot. And if you put an AI into that, it's just not even close, right? Tesla has Grok to lean on, which is, I mean, Grok is not the frontier model out there in AI. Admittedly, it's okay. It's not the best in my opinion, but it's like, is OpenAI doing anything with that? Like, no. I mean, NVIDIA is doing some hardware stuff, but manufacturing is the toughest business to be in, especially with everything that we have going on. So once Tesla builds the bot, has AI, we have AGI, then the bot can build more bots. It's just it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, 100%. But like, what's the likelihood Wall Street's going to believe that?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, that's the question.
Well, I think the bigger question: what's the likelihood it works out that smoothly?
Yeah, well, that too.
I think the ramp for Optimus to have a smoother launch than the cars is easier because the bots environment for work will be mostly in B2B environments for the next few years or internal. And so the rhetoric control for the bot is going to be much easier than the vehicle control, because the vehicle control is a road missile that can cause a headline that can go global in 24 hours or like 24 minutes really. Whereas the bot, it's like Walmart just posted, 2% higher profits, or Amazon has posted 2% higher profits because of human or robot usage, and they said it's primarily Tesla, and that is in a confined environment, right? And so, short of a bot falling on somebody and killing them, which could happen, right?
Right.
That the amount of media exposure to the growth of that technology is going to be significantly more subdued. So even if something were to go wrong, I think it's going to be harder for people to like understand what is going wrong, which is a positive for the story, but a negative potentially for like, hey, maybe there's some messed up stuff going on in these places that we need to address, right? So it's very interesting. It's a very interesting dynamic. Now, once they get into people's homes, that's a separate story, because if the bot falls on, like, God forbid, like we're all going to be fathers or our fathers, like I am very hypersensitive right now about thinking about having a human or robot in my house with my kid. God forbid something happens. It's a 100-pound machine or whatever it's going to be. Like if something wrong happens there and my kid's around, forget it. Right? So that's
better get him in the gym.
Yeah. 1 year, start him early.
Yeah, man.
But that's going to be a much harder threshold for Tesla to, and that's why I don't think they're going to be in the home until like the 2030s. at the earliest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually look. I was more on that. Like, I have been more conservative on the bot thing, but the more I study AI, the more I study AGI, where we're headed, I think this is going to happen a lot faster than people think. It's the only, and once we get to a point with AGI when we have AI that are better AI researchers than what we have currently with just regular people doing AI research, then it's just nutty, game over. Like within months,
Yeah.
we're gonna have next level models and frontier models and stuff. But like we're close to, and we're close to like a post labor economics economic environment where bots will kind of run everything. Bots are going to create more bots. Bots will advance technology. It's like we are not far from that, which is crazy to think, and it sounds kind of pie in the sky for if you don't really care about this stuff, but I really think that's where we're headed, and I'm never the guy to really talk about this kind of pie in the sky stuff.
Yeah, I feel
So
like we're really far from that. Like really
Okay,
far.
well, you're more technical, you're an engineer, so you tell me where you think I'm wrong.
Well, first of all, let's just say that even right now, today, like you'll see headlines about people are hiring less because of AI and all this stuff. BS. Show me. Tell me. Tell me a job that people are no longer hiring for, or they're completely replacing. Right now, in the enterprise, I know Farzad's got a skeptical look already in his face, and he probably has something clever to say. But I'm telling you right now, in the real world, in enterprises, oh, okay, good. In enterprises, nobody's displacing. All they're doing is leveraging Gen AI to help them create better and faster. And the truth is, it's taking them a longer to develop because there's so much context engineering that has to go into it, prompt engineering, making sure you have the right data, showing it what good looks like because everything's different. Like LLMs were like, if you look at it right now in the big scheme of things, it's the easiest thing because it's generalized answers. I don't need to have the specific right answer on how to do this. And that's what gets really complicated. And so let's just say that none of that was the issue. And let's say we had some amazing real world generalized model. That alone is going to take so long to get enough data to properly train this. And the models are going to be so big. I think that even if you did all that and you had the humanoids, I think it would take so long to displace human. I guess it depends what you call labor, but I think it would take so long to displace human labor because I think you'll have jobs created on top of that faster than what bots can displace. Because there are things that humans do that no humanoid is going to be able to do because it's decision making on what we want. Right? I want to do something. Well, that means I have to have the idea that I want to do something and I have to decide if I want to do it, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, where I want to do it. No humanoid can make those decisions. That's me. I have to make that decision. You know what I mean? It's like if I want a house and I want to build it somewhere because I want to eventually rent it out or sell it, like those aren't decisions a bot's going to make. Those are things that I'm going to make. You know, so like, I guess what I'm saying is like, back in the day, we didn't. If you were to talk about the internet and you said the same thing, right? It's so productive. You're not going to need to do anything. So we're going to have software that does everything, replaces. Like, okay, well, you know, there are people who have jobs that all they do is help people grow their YouTube channels and try to find things that make it more interesting to other people. The people who just do thumbnails, like no one would have ever thought of that.
I hear what you're saying. I think the difference here is that we've never had something that has the ability to get better on its own in the way that AGI will, ASI will, artificial superintelligence. And I think if you look at the mid 1900s, I think like 40% of the US population worked in agriculture. 40%. Fast forward 100 years, it's less than 2%. Yet we're making way more vegetables, fruit, whatever. We're growing a lot more, and yet only 2% work. So I agree with your general premise that like people aren't going to cease to work, but I think the work that we currently have is going to be more of a, like, all of it's going to be rebranded as almost like an artisan type of work, like in the way that an artist is today. Uh, yes, we'll find different stuff to work on, but the issue with AI really is the misalignment issue. If AI does become better, gets access to everything that we have, like, the AI will just, like, we'll just be ants in an anthill for AI at the end of the day, and it'll be like Skynet. That is the concern with AI. That's the
Yeah.
So
that's the concern with Optimus. And even Elon shares that concern, because that's why he wants what, a 20% of voting, or 25% voting control in Tesla.
yeah.
That's why.
So if I could jump in here quick, so I think I agree with you both in a sense, but I do think the interesting piece of this, that like the question becomes like, how much compute is needed to reach that, right? Like, do we need 100x more compute? Do we need 1,000x more compute? Do we need 10,000x more compute? And the bigger that number gets, the more energy we need to power that. And the thing we can't escape right now is that we have a ceiling on energy generation as a species, right? So I think the right way to frame this conversation is the advent of AGI and the advent of billions of humanoid robots is directly correlated to how many chips we can use for compute and the energy to power those chips. And I that will answer that question. And I think I'm more on Nico's camp, that the ramp to that is probably going to be slower than we think, because our grid and our energy systems are just so behind the 8 ball. And for us to get the energy systems ramped up to power this beast that we're talking about is going to take some time. Now, but the end result is the same, and we're talking about a 10 to 20 year time frame that we might miss. But like in the scale of our lives, it doesn't really matter.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, also don't discount the algorithmic efficiencies that will come when we get AGI. Like, yes, we need 100%. We need nuclear plants everywhere yesterday. Yes, we need nuclear fusion in 10 years. Yes, we need solar everywhere. Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Chips, yes, for sure. But there are going to be algorithmic advances that happen that are going to, like, look at DeepSeek. I mean, I was kind of a hater for DeepSeek, but yes, it's undeniable that they've made algorithmic advances here. So there will be wildcards that come into it. But I guess you're right in the sense where all three of us are techno optimists for the most part. We believe in technology and where it's headed. Yes, maybe in our timelines we're a little bit bullish, but in the general public, like, people don't even know what's going on. And Gen AI is part of it, right? Agentic 100%. AI is the next big thing everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
Junior developers have essentially, like, junior devs, like, good luck finding a job at this point, because like Cursor can replace you with a couple of prompts. So it's tough right now. And yes, we're going to see some displacement for sure.
The top 10% junior developers with Cursor are better than the rest of the developers combined. I agree with that statement.
Yeah. You can't really find a junior. Like, I know multiple people that are mid-level engineers, software engineers. They can't find jobs. And and I know a few people actually, sadly, that have just finished coding bootcamp in the last year or two. Damn, terrible timing. Like, this timing right now, if you're just learning how to program, you have no work experience, and you've just finished coding bootcamp for a year.
I agree with that.
A year ago, man, that is tough.
So here, let me take, not intentionally trying to be contrarian to you guys. I just see it differently. The people who just completed the code bootcamp, to your point, who now they know how to code, I disagree, because you can have Cursor, you can use Copilot, you can use whatever you want, anything that you put into your IDE to help you code. But if you don't actually know what you're looking at, if you don't actually know what ideas and what's possible and how to build it, you're not going to be able to do it. Like, none of these tools that help you dev are actually great, is the best I can say it. They're additive. They help you be faster. They help you not have to go find the right libraries. They help you not have to, again, recreate the wheel, right? You can just pull the wheel off the shelf. But at the end of the day, you still need to have a understanding of how coding works, how to develop, an application, how the infrastructure behind it works. Is it latency dependent or not? Do you need it real time or not? Can I afford this time delay? What happens if the database goes down? you need to have those understandings for what you're actually trying to build in your idea. And if you don't know, like, it's like I can have Duolingo, but that's irrelevant if you're going to compare me to someone who speaks the language. I actually understand how the language works.
That's today's version, though.
Yeah,
12
like
months version is
I
gonna be
think
different.
I think some of it, like, just be careful, because what I don't care about is actually engineering or coding. What I care about is getting the final result of the program that I want.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm a non-technical person. I've built up 3 programs that I automate a lot of my personal life or my business life or work life. I've set up automations, I've coded stuff. I have no clue what I'm doing, and I've done it. So it's not the process that I care about. And I agree, I don't actually know anything about databases, and I've learned a little bit, but I really don't care about it that much. I prompt engineer everything. I'm an idiot, but I've gotten the final result I wanted, which is all that kind of matters.
The biggest variable in this, though, I agree with Joshua here. It's not the expertise of the actual coding, is knowing how to articulate what you're looking for. And if you know how to articulate what you're looking for, that's the skill set. And that's
what. And if you know how to code, you know how to do that. If you don't actually know how to do that. Yashi, just look, I have no idea what you built, but
yeah,
maybe I'm wrong. I'm just gonna take a shot here. I imagine there are certain things that you built, right, using whatever AI tool that you used to help you, that if you could figure out how to do something, you would do that thing to make it a little better, whether that's having it so instead of you just running a dummy HTML, like it's actually web-based, so that it's actually real-time feeding to whatever you're doing. Like, I'm sure there's like a little UI things maybe that you don't have it the way you would because you tried for a while to get what you want. You're like, all right, this is getting complicated, but I got the output I'm looking for. It ain't sexy. It ain't high grade. You wouldn't sell this, but it works. Would that be fair to say?
Of course, yeah. And I also don't know how half of it works. So if I wanted to change that, I don't know how I would do that without AI, for sure. Yeah. But I still got the result that I wanted, which is all that kind of matters, no?
80-20. 80-20.
Yeah. I would say no, because the point is you still need to know how it works.
Disrupted.
No, you can't disrupt me. Are you kidding me?
You should make a merch line, undisruptible.
I am. I reinvent myself. But anyways, so let's go down AGI. Like, what is AGI to you, and how do you know when we're there?
Yeah, well, that's the murky. I would argue with O3. I would say, like, it's kind of close to, like, it doesn't have the tools access that I would like to have, like all the access into actually making the changes. But what O3 can do today, I'm like, man, like, we're not far off from what I would classify as artificial general intelligence, smarter than the average person. Super intelligence would be like smarter than all humans. It doesn't matter, like PhD level everywhere, right? In every domain. So, like, I'm not sure if you guys have tried O3, but it's epic. Like, I've tweeted about it. If anyone in the chat has used it, like, let me know. But O3 is killer. Like, it's just so good.
I canceled my $200 subscription because I'm just gonna wait for Grok to catch up in like 2 months.
Well, just pay $20. That's all I pay. You don't need the Pro. You just need the Plus.
Yeah, I haven't used GPT in a while. I find that the rest of the stuff that I use kind of fulfills my needs already. But this is a very interesting conversation, right? Because of, like, how many people are going to pay the premium, right? Okay, so, and I got to go here in a minute, but, like, this is the conversation about AI. Okay, is a true skill set from AI that will create unbelievable abundance and super ability? Is that going to be reserved for the people that can afford it? That's the question.
No, AI is, if anything, AI is getting cheaper and cheaper to run. Like, you know, like DeepSeek's cost.
Will it always be $200 a month?
Like, here's my take on that, Farzad. I think, and this is so backwards thinking, but I think artificial intelligence will be adopted by those in the lowest poverty level before those in the upper echelons. Perfect example will be like autonomy. I think more income challenged people will adopt it before people who don't need to. They can afford to own their car, whatever. I think there will be more that way. It's
a very good point. Yeah, if you're already paying for a maid and everything's already being done for you, like, are you really going to go out your way to get a bot when the person that can afford a maid, they can't afford to pay that team $20,000-$30,000 a year.
True.
They might just rent the bot, for $100 a month to just come clean their house once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And who is that, right? Like the rich person, maybe they just own their bot, but maybe the person who's not rich, they're like, hey, I can start a small business now and I can get 2 bots and 3 robotaxis. And now I'm an entrepreneur, like I think there's more things like that, but
And the last now, like think about it this way: there's kind of a brain drain that's been happening in Silicon Valley, where you get really smart immigrants to come build these code bases, build up technology in Silicon Valley. It's almost like for example, India, right? A lot of engineers that come from India come to Silicon Valley, work at these tech companies. AI is almost like the balance. Yeah, not me. I'm an idiot. AI is almost like the opposite. It's like a reverse brain drain where you've kind of built out this network of models, and then you can democratize it by anyone in India, as long as they have an internet connection, or even not even, you can run it locally, can get access to education, tutoring. Like it's a reverse brain drain. It's almost like the yin and it's almost like the world's kind of balanced itself out over the last 100 years, where there's been a massive amount of intellectual property come out, smart people come over, and now it's almost going to go back. So I totally agree with you, Nico, there.
Yeah.
In that way.
It's funny you talk about like the balancing of things. This is so off topic. You guys aren't going to be surprised I'm bringing this up. But
so I'm going to go then. Bye. I got to go.
Oh, okay. Bye. Talk about the rebalancing of things. I think you've seen the world kind of start to rebalance politically. I think you've seen the world start to rebalance when it comes to, thinking about climate change or not. I mean, you just see the world in general rebalancing. To your point, the rebalancing I'm seeing now is I'm seeing a lot more people become more and more. I guess this would be the word. I don't know if you're seeing that, Yashu, but like Elon Musk is talking about like Jesus and God. Joe Rogan's talking about. It's like it's interesting to see like this kind of change.
Pendulum swing, right?
Yeah,
Wait, Elon said that? I must have missed it.
He's talked about Jesus and God a couple of times, like just talking about like there's. I don't want to like.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. I'd be very interested in that. Yeah, that's very cool. I didn't actually catch that.
He's just talked about like like there's a good chance that there's a higher power and all this stuff, and
good.
I think Joe Rogan just had a clip where he was like, "Yeah, sure, everything just happened the size of a pen or a pinhead, but Jesus is crazy." Like, come on.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'll leave on a couple. Thanks for joining me, by the way. I appreciate your time, man.
No, man, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, I'll leave on the last couple of super chats. So we kind of predicted Tesla end of the year. I think Nico's a little bit more medium term bearish because of the market, but
wait, this says end of the year. End of the year, I say 525.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say about, let's say 500. Hopefully, that's kind of hope. Right on. Okay, I appreciate everyone's time. And shout out to Jeremy, by the way, for winning. If Jeremy, you're still tuned in, I appreciate everyone's time. Again, it's a Friday. Tesla's up 2%. Epic month. Nico's joining me. Go subscribe to his channel to invest against the grain. You can find him on X. What's your X handle again?
It's I should know this, shouldn't I? Oh, it's at Nick Gibbs IAG. IAG stands for Investing Against the Grain.
Perfect. Yeah, search Investing Against the Grain. I think you'll probably pop up as the first. Right on. Much love, everyone. Take care. Signing off now, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Later.